Okay, so today is a kind of some wrap-up or some concluding part of the whole, including previous 2 or 3 weeks. So as you see my title, Asian Economic Community in the Age of China Competition. So main focus of this program is this year, really just we want to focus on the US-China competition. So today, this week, I just wanted to more explanation about the how could be some kind of Korean perspective of this issue. Okay, so because I'm just limited my lecture time, that's within 20 minutes. I have to speed up. Sense. This is my content. This lecture. First of all, I want to briefly talk about what could be a European experience. I know that already another Professor Park has already explained about some European experience the first day. But this time I want some more some diverse issues. Secondly, that's why I just wanted to explain about what could be an Asian way. Okay. Third, this is in a sense a unique theme because 21st century is characterized by many diverse terminologies. One of them is age of hyper uncertainty or age of the great transformation. The fourth, this is the main focus of this speech, that is US-China competition. But I just wanted to explain US-China competition is why it is important, because that is closely related to another revolution, that is first industrial revolution. Lastly, I want to conclude my speech. Okay, then I'm not sure how many of you heard of his name, Mr. Jean Monnet. He is French, but maybe I know that one of them came from Europe, but Jean Monnet is well known of course, in Europe and in other countries, but unfortunately not well known in Korea. So let me explain. Mr. Jean Monnet is called father of European Union. Why? Because he initiated 1950, long time ago, Schuman-Poland Declaration. Based on this declaration, European countries succeeded in establishing the first step of European integration, which is ECSC. Okay. Now, what is ECSC? ECSC is a stem for European Coal and Steel Community. So I must say that this could be really became the start of European integration. Mr. Jean Monnet, who I just explained, he found ECSC with, at the time, just 6 countries. Okay? At the time, West Germany. Okay? At the time, Germany is not united. West Germany, France, Italy, and 3 European countries. There is Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg. So, by establishing this organization, at the time, European countries succeeded in freeing movement of coal and steel. Then, maybe some of you may have some question. Why is coal and steel? Okay, why coal and steel? Because many of you already guessed, steel coal really is the core of materials in order to make some produce weapons. Okay. So this is really started from security concern. So this is really intended, to prevent a war in Europe. As you know well, at the time, 1950, just a few years ago, they experienced 2 really major wars, World War I and World War II. Okay, so at the time, European countries, their imminent task is just preventing war again in Europe. Okay. Okay, then let me just briefly classify long history of European integration. Maybe from the ancient period. You know his name, Alexander the Great, and also the Roman Empire. At the time, these two countries just succeeded in the integrating many parts of Europe, right? And entering the medieval period, you know, Charlemagne is a king of the Frank kingdom. Also, he succeeded in the uniting or integrating many parts of Europe, especially Germany and France these days. And lastly, you know that their names, Napoleon and Hitler. These two guys just really used military power and violence, you know, to, you know, unite in Europe. But entering the 20th century, especially entering the second half of the 20th century, just initiated by Mr. Jean Monnet. At the time, they tried to look at integration, but there is very different way. That is a voluntary and democratic way. Okay, so you know, starting from I already mentioned 1950 ECSC. Okay, and the second step is 1957, based on Rome Treaty, EEC. EEC means European Economic Community. And then 1967, there was another EC, that is the European Community. And lastly, 1991, you know, the Maastricht Treaty. Based on this treaty, we know that we have witnessed some establishment of European Union. European Union today, we already still have European Union in European countries, right? Okay, then second theme is, what could be Asian way? In order to explain, we have to ask some preliminary questions. First one is, where is Asia? Okay? Okay, many of you maybe could define Asia sometimes geographically and religiously or culturally. Okay, it's fair, it's not bad. But here I just want to suggest a different way. That is, Asia should be defined in terms of the coming future, not the past. This is argument from the Professor Keith Roman. He made a keynote speech in the first conference of ASEF 2009. In other words, Asia should be defined based on some openness and voluntariness. Okay? And second, why do we need Asian regional integration? Many reasons, but here I just want to pick up only one most important reason. That is, in order to address disputes, conflicts in this region, especially in Northeast Asia, where we are living, including South Koreans. You know, notably in Northeast Asia, we have witnessed some conflict and disputes between North and South Korea, and between China and Japan, between Korea and Japan. Okay? So, in a sense, this is very urgent interest, urgent need. So we have to do something right now. So, how does it come true? Okay? I just wrote many articles related to issue. So we do not have enough time, but just briefly explain. There could be two Asian systems, with Korea, here South Korea, and ASEAN, respectively, as the mediators. So there could be two tracks. One is here, Southern track. Southern track is ASEAN Plus system. You know the ASEAN Plus, right? And second, Northern track. This is, in a sense, suggested by me and our groups. That is a Northeast Asian system. In other words, we could call it 3+ system. Three means South Korea, Japan, and China. But when you talk about China, it makes us some trouble, because today's this program topic is focusing on US-China competition. Okay, so it isn't easy to try Asian regional integration in the age of this kind of two powers competition. So already Professor Park Sung-hoon mentioned that this point, US-China competition could lead to divide in Asia. Okay, so US-centered alliance and China-centered alliance. Okay, therefore, this kind of competition resulted in very negative effects to Asian economic community. So, what would be the solution? Okay, here I just briefly some kind of quick answer solution. There is two solutions. One solution could be third party union. Third party, what is third party? Just we want to exclude two big country, big power, excluding US. Then other countries come together, gathering. So neutral bloc, including global south. You already learned what could be importance of global south, right? For Professor Kim Won-ho. And South Korea, Japan, and even European Union to join this neutral bloc. And another option here is a kind of parallel approach of TPP and RCEP. What is TPP? You already learned, and RCEP, I don't know, explain again. There's this kind of TPP originally initiated by US, even though, you know, later they withdraw from Trump administration. And RCEP is initiated by China. So what I'm saying is, we just temporarily pursue these two tracks together. Okay. Then here I want to talk about the age of hyper uncertainty and the great transformation. So I have to say that we are facing really many so-called existential global threat, EGTs, in the age of this kind of problematic period. Now, what could be EGTs? Four things. One is climate change and pandemic, okay? And second, our thing, US-China competition. And another thing is Ukrainian war. It is ongoing war, okay, between Ukraine and Russia. And last, the first industrial revolution is this kind of, very fundamental movement in terms of technology. Okay, you already learned some effect from this kind of technology and security last week, right? Okay, then what is the age of great transformation? Great transformation is suggested by a very great scholar, Karl Polanyi, in 1944. According to his definition, he described laissez-faire capitalism and its system as a 19th century civilization. But at the time, there was four institutions supported this civilization. What are those? The first one is balance of power system, the international gold standard, self-regulating market system, the liberal state. But in 1929, there was some great depression in coming from the United States. After that, everything changed. Okay, so after that, those four systems collapsed, and society centered on the state is re-emerged. So there is some power shift from market to state. Okay. Then, what could be prospects in the age of this great transformation? You know that since 1980s, market fundamentalism returned. 1980s, who was the president of the United States at the time? Reagan. And who was the prime minister of the UK? Thatcher, Margaret Thatcher. Those politicians is really representative for arguing the importance of market. Okay? And also, entering the end of the 1990s, exactly speaking, 1991 December, Soviet Union collapsed. Okay. Also, you know that this century, China succeeded in very rapid economic growth. After that, we witnessed some competition between existing powers, that is U.S. and some new power, which is China. And also the pandemic crisis, and also Russian invasion of Ukraine. All of these just contribute to the return of state, just like 1930s, just 100 years ago. So all of these things could be described as so-called state capitalism, re-emerged state capitalism. Okay, then U.S.-China competition and fourth industrial revolution. So I must say that duration of the war in Ukraine. So what could be the result of this war? The result will have a profound impact. These two competition. Yeah, that's right. However, in order to know the winner of the U.S.-China competition, we must first analyze who will win in this fourth industrial revolution. Because this industrial revolution is the really core of the competition. So, first industrial revolution and fourth industrial revolution. These two industrial revolution is very much similar in terms of the many losers and small winners. Okay? So in the 20th century, globalization is just bring about some kind of losers from the low-class workers. However, entering the 20th century, we are seeing some new industry, such as platform companies and AI. Those kind of new industry just result in not only of the income of the low class, but also middle, and even including highly educated people. Okay. So the result is more severe, or accelerated inequality and polarization. So to understand why those kind of political phenomena. You know that now United States is very much polarized in terms of political thinking and political activity. But here in South Korea, it is also becoming very similar. All of these is based on this kind of some kind of technological change. Okay, China. China's President Xi Jinping, he recently succeeded in the 3 consecutive terms and also established long-term ruling system. However, I must say that China's priority is just solidify Communist Party and one-man ruling system. In other words, priority is not in the system competition with United States. Okay? So this means China is, in a sense, now started to losing in the competition, in a sense. Just recently. Okay? Then who will win? What could be the key factor? Key factor to competition in this country is that which country could continue economic growth and why resolving this kind of polarization issues. Then 3 blocks here. One block is the so-called democratic bloc, including United States and Europe. Another block is authoritarian bloc, centered on China and Russia. And the last block is neutral. In this case, India, South America, and Africa. In other words, global South. Okay? So, this is important. Direction of the third block will ultimately depend on which side, okay, will benefit in terms of economy. Previously, it depends on some ideology or political issue, but nowadays it is more economic and, in a sense, more technological. So, conclusion for your choice. First of all, in terms of politics and security, you know that South Korea has some alliance with the United States. This is, already gone beyond matter of choice. Because North Korea is recently more clearly leaning toward China-Russia after the Ukraine war. So South Korea cannot be has a position of neutral between two groups. From a technological and economic perspective, Korea must become a cornerstone of fourth industrial revolution within the democratic bloc. And we must win not only in semiconductor, AI, and batteries, but also in the energy revolution. In particular, national capability must be focused on creating hydrogen economic ecosystem. Okay? So Professor Julio Friedman, Columbia University, he already mentioned that the hydrogen economy is very much important because this could be some way of resolving the deepening polarization between and within countries, and also this could be bring about some kind of introduction of low energy cost system in the future. Karl Marx, long time ago, explained that some kind of his own historical view, which is called historical materialism. According to this perspective, productive forces or technology or economy determine production relation or superstructure. But here I just wanted to say that being ahead of technology development does not mean winning the competition. We need more. There is a national governance structure. Okay? We support the kind of technological development. So, core task for Korea, a leading country, is to create a political and social governance structure. Okay? It can minimize negative factors such as polarization while promoting the development of technologies that are environmentally friendly and reduce inequality. Okay, then APEC or IPF. I'm not sure how many of you know that South Korea will host APEC summit meeting in 2025, just next year. So APEC, what is APEC? Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation. This is really only economic cooperation body where the US China participate as regular members. Okay? So, following this opportunity, Korea should use APEC as some leverage, okay, leverage place to strengthen its role as a mediator. It can lead to cooperation between these countries. And the United States is promoting new regional cooperation initiative, which is called IPF in the Pacific Economic Framework. But this IPF is really targeting China. So this is cause some trouble to, of course, South Korea. So if we use APEC as some kind of place for bring these two countries into some cooperative mood, then APEC could be an alternative to solve these difficulties Korea's diplomatic choice. Okay, this is and my lecture. Thank you.